All right, so it's Wednesday the 19th. I don't know what day it is, but it's definitely Wednesday. And the reason why I know that it's Wednesday is because in a few days we'll be departing, and it'll be very, very sad for all of us. It's been an incredible experience. I really need to stop using that word, but it's been just out of this world. Many, many great surprises, some quite unfortunate and annoying, but for the most part, I've been overwhelmed by the hospitality, the graciousness, the kindness of the Eritrean people, their ability to openly welcome strangers into their homes, into their lives, into their professions, into their world, without asking for anything in return, with the exception of just make sure that you tell your story about the experience that you've had. There are a lot of contradictions that I'm still working through. You know, how can a nation be so peaceful, so calm, and yet the outside world view it as, we've heard, the North Korea of Africa? How is it that the narrative that's out there doesn't match with the narrative that's in here, right? And that is sort of the $1,000,000 question that I think we're all going to have to wrestle with. But also, you know, these are people who are modest. They believe work in action, which are words that I actually heard from an Eritrean himself yesterday, that it's more about doing the work than it is about talking about the work. And that's something I've been thinking through and really trying to emulate it even in my own life. And so to be in a space where that is all that the people do, that is just the underlying principle, the way that things are, it's the standard, it's great, but it's also, it challenges me, right, to think about my own life, to reflect on my own life, and to be and to look at the areas where I may claim to do the work, without making the announcement, right? Sort of doing work in action. And so it's definitely challenging me and causing me to reflect on my own life, to look intrinsically, to determine, how I'm really emulating this piece. Yesterday was a great day, and I think the highlights, there are several highlights, but one of them was definitely being on the battlefield and experiencing that moment in Adikwala. It was just, words can't quite put, I can't quite piece together the words to explain how that felt. Just the gravity of the experience, of the moment, of the war, and to think that, the Ethiopians were so negligent in risking the lives of their people is quite unfortunate. And so, it's something I'm definitely wrestling with, thinking through, and I intend on being able to, just to unpack it a little bit. And one thing that I'll leave with is that the general he said this, he said, rather than building factories, we were buying tanks. And I think it's easy from the outside, but even once you get on the inside, to wonder, well, why is it that this country, hasn't moved forward, that in 7 years or so it's stood still? And that's the very reason why. So, just some thoughts.